global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our channel. Right now, a lot of things are happening in Rivers State. Rivers State have taken the bulls by the horns and they're making demands. Their demands are quite stringent, and this is coming from 24 very prominent Rivers people, both in Nadeko and diaspora in Nigeria, writing and insisting, copying the president, Mr. President, and the Senate, insisting that investigation should be made on how this whole narration of state of emergency and how the whole issue of explosion, a lot of things they make demands on, and they're making their demands. They wrote in an open letter and and directing their grievances to the Mr. President. To, in all honesty, they listed their demands that must be met, because this whole issue of state of emergency goes beyond and there's a criminal act that took place beyond the state of emergency declaration, beyond the suspension of Fubara, and that if that is not checked, then criminality will be enthroned. Let's listen to them as we dive into the news. The President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, State House, Abuja, Nigeria. They copied the National Assembly. They also copied the international community. They said, "Dear President Tinubu, we the people of Rivers State and as concerned citizens of Nigeria are writing to express our utmost outrage and condemnation of your recent declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State and the subsequent suspension of a democratically elected governor, His Excellency Sir Siminalayi Fubara, Deputy Governor Professor Ngozi Odo, all elected members of Rivers State House of Assembly. Now, this action reflects a blatant disregard for the constitutional rights of the people of Rivers State, as well as a gross abuse and ultra-virus of executive power. We, the people of Rivers State, agree with fellow Nigerians, including legal and political experts, that your decision is not only dangerously unconstitutional, but also undermines the democratic principles that our nation was founded upon. The suspension of Governor Fubara and the imposition of a state of emergency, a clear attempt to subvert the will of the people and consolidate power in the hands of the federal government. For clarity, regarding your decision to declare a state of emergency and the subsequent removal of a duly elected governor, we should refer to Nigeria's constitution, which serves as the foundation of our legal system. The 1999 Constitution of Nigeria permits declaration of state of emergency. However, it specifies certain conditions that must be fulfilled for this to take place. Section 305, subsection 3 of the Constitution outlines this specific condition, including 1. War or external aggression against Nigeria; 2. Imminent danger of invasion or war; 3. A breakdown of public order and safety to such an extent that ordinary legal measures are insufficient; 4. A clear danger to Nigerian existence; 5. Occurrence of any disaster or natural calamity affecting a state or a part of it; 6. Such other public danger that constitute a threat to the Federation. Now, these conditions appear not to have been met or exist in this situation. The conditions mentioned above were not fulfilled. Therefore, the declaration of the state of emergency in Rivers State is illegal and unconstitutional. It represents a blatant disregard for the rule of law and the fundamental democratic principles that may hold you as a strong advocate of it. Now, due to the failure to meet constitutional requirements, any attempt by certain individuals to fabricate or create these conditions constitute a criminal act and a severe obstruction of justice. In our view, this criminality should be treated as more serious than the underlying wrongful and false declaration of a state of emergency. We, the people of Rivers State, hereby demand a thorough investigation into who manufactured the non-existent conditions that misled you into declaring a state of emergency, which has now plagued Rivers State into a state of political uncertainty. We respectfully submit that the state of emergency was imposed using false and illegal justifications, including the alleged pipeline explosion. Therefore, it should be lifted and the governor reinstated. The declaration of state of emergency in Rivers State could simply be translated as a reward for criminality, because the perpetrators of the conditions upon which you base your decision seem to have achieved their ultimate aim and goal. We would like to draw your attention to the fact that Nigerian people have frequently referred to you as a champion of democracy, dating back to June 12, 1993. On that day, as you may recall, General Sani Abacha and Ibrahim Babangida colluded to annul the election won by Chief Mko Abiola, which was regarded as the freest and the fairest in Nigerian history. In 1999, the people of Lagos State recognized your contributions to ushering in democracy by voting for you as governor. However, the recent declaration of a state of emergency, which was obviously arrived at under questionable circumstances, and your failure to adhere to the constitutional guidelines outlined in Section 305 contradict the principles of democracy. Now, these actions suggest a willingness to undermine the very democratic values that you fought for. As it stands, your actions are in direct conflict with those of a person touted to have fought for democratic principles. Therefore, we demand that you immediately rescind the declaration of emergency and restore Governor Fubara and his deputy to their rightful positions alongside all that constitutes civil governance that has broken down in Rivers State as a consequence. We urge you to respect the quasi-autonomy of Rivers State and allow the democratic process to proceed without interference from you or the executive branch. Above all, and most importantly, we are deeply concerned about the implications of your actions on the stability and security of Rivers State. The people of Rivers State have the right to self-determination and to choose their leaders without external interference. We urge you to respect the Constitution and the rule of law and to prioritize the welfare and the well-being of the people of Rivers State. Long live Rivers State and the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This is sincerely signed by Dono Kobara Alaruchi Kuki Gam, Ibim Seminary, Lord F. Uko, Nadeko USA Project Coordinator, Julie A. Dia, Coordinator Admin, Ibiba Omotosho, Karaba Brade, Asale Agogo Deshuza, Haribo Lawson, George Ibi Fubara Jumbo, Dr. Park Harry, Ogu Emejeru, Nemi Amatru, Swala Iyala, Daba Ibiaba, Arnold Aminu Amakri, Ibiba Dom Pedro, Derigo de Somaria, Michael Alagea, Abose is Israel, Sam Wamat, Asmo Domo, Barago, Aji Amakri Hito, Onu Inkiru Uba. All of this, that's 24 members. Now, with all of this coming up, it clearly shows that the Rivers people believe that there was a hanky-panky played, and in all sincerity wants the president and those involved to be investigated, that there is something that played, that somebody did all those a false narrative, and that if the person is allowed to go off the hook and this whole thing plays out and somebody planted all of this negative narrative, then that person is more criminal than even the declaration of a state of emergency in the state. And in all sincerity, for the sake of justice, but I mean, it clearly shows that there is more that meets the eyes. But the question now is, will the presidency heed to this call? Will the presidency or even the Senate, will they look into this? Because most Nigerians believe that it's actually those behind power grabbing in Rivers State that actually wanted the narrative. The likes of Yeson Wike have never denied the fact that he wanted the Rivers State governor Fubara to outrightly impeached, which clearly shows that doesn't even want Fubara to be at that seat. So the question now is, somebody within somewhere must have orchestrated this. And the people are saying all of the conditions that were supposed to be in Section 305, none was met, and yet state of emergency was declared, and even the so-called pipeline explosion didn't truly happen. It was actually a make-believe, a drama, that a false narrative that never happened. But that's going to wrap it up. Let's meet in that conversation. So have a nice time. God bless you.